and welcome to the Becker Private Equity and the Becker Business Podcast. My name is Chanel Bunger, and today I'm excited to speak with regular guest Liz Hutson, Principal Consultant and Owner at EGH LLC, who joins us today to discuss the value of multi-phase project planning. Liz, thank you so much for joining me. Could you get us started out by giving a brief introduction for listeners that may not be acquainted with you yet?
Absolutely. Chanel, great to talk with you. Yeah, I am Liz Hutson. I am the founder and principal consultant of EGH LLC, and we focus on healthcare products and services primarily in the private equity space, and we provide services in all gamuts, whether it's with mergers and acquisitions or product development, marketing support, but a whole series of things really focused on change management.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that introduction. Now let's get into it. So, getting stuck at the beginning of a big project can be a major hurdle for leaders everywhere. Can you talk a bit about the process that you use to get unstuck?
Absolutely. Yeah. When I'm at the beginning of a really big project or a goal, I often feel really paralyzed, right? I don't know where to even begin. And because I'm stuck there at the beginning, the idea is somewhere in my head, but I can't start. Right after that first thought of like, I don't know where to begin, comes this idea of doubt. Like, can I even do any of this? Am I capable of pulling this off at all? And I think that reaction is just super natural and it's very human, but it's a place that we need to make sure we don't stop. So if it's any big task, whether it's things like what we do, which is company integration, or if it's writing a book, losing weight, or even cleaning up a closet, right? The key to all of this is eating the elephant one bite at a time. And that's what I really want to explore today, Chanel, is that instead of trying to tackle the entire project at once, let's talk about multi-phase project planning, because I believe that it has been for me, my greatest ally when work feels overwhelming.
Got it. Got it. Thank you so much for setting that up for us. And speaking of breaking things down, can you give us the step-by-step process that you use in multi-phase project planning?
Absolutely. So I think about it in three parts, and let's talk about each one of those. So the first one, anytime you're doing any kind of planning, but particularly with multi-phase project planning, you want to start with the end in mind. And, while this multi-phase project planning is about breaking things into smaller parts, it's so important that you know where you're ultimately headed before you even begin. You want to visualize that ending, visualize that ideal future state, and then anchor on that as your target. And then from there, every thought, every plan, every step should move you in that direction. So that first step is to start with the end in mind so you know where you're headed. The second part of that, then after you have that anchor, after you have that focus, is really to just break it down. So a lot of times we get stuck under the weight of what's ahead of us. The scope feels heavy, and that heaviness then just keeps us from moving at all, right? Like I said, sometimes we feel paralyzed at the beginning. But remember, you don't have to finish the entire project right now. All you need to do is just take the first small step. I ask myself, I talk to my clients, my colleagues, my kids, ask yourself, what's the first simplest thing that I can do? Ask that really straightforward question. What's the simplest first thing that I can do? And then go do that. And then you map the journey into those small phases. It helps it feel controllable. It feels more attainable. It's still hard and it still requires effort, but it's not as overwhelming as it was in the beginning. And then the last part of it, Chanel, is really just celebrating the progress along the way. So even though each step of this multi-phase project planning feels small and maybe even a little trivial, when you string all of those small steps together, you start to build momentum. And those early wins in a project or when you're accomplishing a goal, they're really important. They're incredibly important because they build belief, they build confidence and excitement. And that success in the beginning, it's contagious, right? Your energy rises, the team's energy rises. If you're working with a group, the tempo starts to build. And when you look back, you can really see clearly, gosh, I've really come so far. So those are the three steps that I think about, right? Number one, start with the end in mind. Two, break it down. And three, celebrate the progress.
Absolutely. Well, Liz, I want to thank you for your time today. But before I let you go, is there anything else that listeners should know?
Yeah, just to maybe just tie it all up together, I would just say it's all about summoning that energy to just take that first portion of the plan and then the next and then the next. And all of a sudden, that project that felt overwhelming doesn't feel so intimidating anymore. You just want to get started. Just get yourself in motion. Start eating that elephant one bite at a time.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great note to end on. Liz, I want to thank you once again for your time today and for sharing your insights on the Becker business and the Becker Private Equity podcast. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chanel. Great to talk with you.